so that when I'm old and I forget how a real life true story is, or how can I make sure that not all of it is lost. Like, why didn't my father share all this with us?
What if all these things could happen to me? I mean,
Welcome back to Something Brilliant. So, to start off this video, I would like to ask you some questions. What were some of the difficulties that you faced last month? And what was the last conversation that you had with your grandparents about? What was that conversation about? Lastly, what is the last life lesson story that your parents told you? Think about it. Okay, got it? So, why did I ask all these questions? I'll tell you about it later. Okay? So, those questions that I asked is related to this video, and I will start this video by telling a story, a real story, a real life true story, a real life true story. Yeah, you get it. A real life true story. Yeah. And from that story, I'll explore some questions, some reflections that I had about life. And from those questions, I will touch on two reasons why I decided to start YouTube, to start this channel. And at the very end of this video, I'll feature a video clip about the person in that real life true story. Alright, let's begin. So, this story is about my late father. He passed away in 2017, the year 2017. And in his life, he had the opportunity to travel, and not just during times when air travel has become more accessible to many, but also during his younger age, or like when he was still bachelor, like I think about 40 years ago. And those are the time when air travel was not that accessible. Not everyone get to travel internationally, and he was fortunate enough to be able to make some international trips. And so he did share some stories of all these travels that he made, and I got to know some informations like what are these countries, how long did it take, why did he make those travels for, and that's about it. But it was only after he passed away when I met some of his travel buddies, friends that made those travels with him, or those people that he met during those travels, that I was able to learn more of those travels that he made, about the experiences, about what happened, what did he do, some of the actions, and also get to learn more about like the thinking process that he had in making those decisions or taking those actions. And that got me thinking, uh, like, why didn't my father share all this with us? Was it because he didn't think that those things were important, or was it because he forgot, or was it because as he was very busy looking after the family and there were more pressing matters in front of him, so these things were pushed back in his mind, and so just didn't emerge to him that he can share this as well. And so all this got me thinking,
what if all these things could happen to me? I mean, I was thinking about my own life situation as well. That I am fortunate that because of my work, in community development and social development, I get to travel as well. I was able to work with communities from Sabah, communities in Sarawak, in Brunei, in West Malaysia, in Cambodia, and in Laos. And I'm not talking about just, you know, visit for vacation or holidays, not just to go to their tourist spot and see their festivals and try their food. And all those are good, but I get to do more than just that. I was able to interact and work with individuals, with families, with communities, with the different cultures, with the different way of life. And to me, all these things can also shape the way we see what is happening around us and how one can interact with their surrounding. How can a person be exerting influence or at the same time be influenced by them? It also helps a person be more conscious, and all these stories with life lessons, funny stories, loving stories, but also stories of people's trials and difficulties in life. I find all these valuable. And so, bringing back and relating to the story of my father, all this, what happened to him could also happen to me. That all these things that I gain from other people's life, from their experiences, their wisdoms, the insights into life, lessons on life, and like knowledge and skills and all this, I could forget them as well, right? With passing of time, or when there are more pressing things, pressing matters that come to mind, and all these other things that I've gained can be pushed back. So then it got me thinking. I was wondering,
Like, comment, and subscribe.
it would be a shame if I have gained so much, and because I forget, or whatever it is, I repeat the same mistakes that these lessons are supposed to like help me or avoid, or to not repeat the same mistakes such as this. So then I was thinking, how can I make sure that not all of it is lost? I mean, I think by now maybe some of it is, I may have forgotten it, or uh, maybe I've written it down somewhere, but if I don't refer to it, I might, forget. So I was thinking, like, what can I do to retain as much as possible, or what I can retain, and for the next generation, and yeah, so that it could be shared with other people as well, so that hopefully it is also of benefit to others. Then that it can be a reference as well, a reference for myself, or also like a reference for the future generations, or like maybe, I don't know, my grandchildren, or even children, or like niece and nephews. I mean, if you think about it, my father will never have the chance to meet with any of um, my children or grandchildren, who are none of them are born yet. So, you know, and but if I am able to find a way to do this, not only will I be able to access them myself for my own reference, but also there's this channel for people to access them. And if you think about it, it would be quite cool if maybe I am 32 years old this year,
if my, I don't know, grandchild or grandniece or nephew were able to access this video when they are 32 years old. By that time I might be long gone already. It'll be quite, cool, don't you think? It's like me being able to interact or have some form of interaction with my parents or my grandparents when they were my age, to have that, same age, and to, just to see how did they think at that time, and how were things and life like during their time and during the same age as them. So yeah, that, it made me think about this. I mean, of course, and also to learn from our experiences, to learn from all these wisdoms and insights and stories as well. You know, not just about being cool to have that kind of interaction, and to be able to hear from the previous generations, but also, to have this, uh, to be able to learn from the previous generations, and hopefully what the previous generation, which is what maybe my generation now, is able to maybe help and assist the next generations or the future generations, so that their generation will be a better one than during my generation. Yeah. So yeah, I decided to take up YouTube so that there's a way for me to store, to retain all these valuable insights, knowledge, stories, wisdoms, life lessons, all these that I find are valuable, to be able to store them for my own reference, so that, when I'm old and I forget how I used to think, or what I was thinking about when I was younger, I have this channel to refer to, and also maybe for my family purpose, to also refer what this what like who was I, and how do I think, and also secondly, hopefully, because how I find all this useful for myself, that it helped me become the person I am today. It enabled me to view life this way and to have this kind of perspective. I hope that if it has this kind of effect on me, hopefully it can also have some kind of effect or some benefit to others as well. And yeah, so these are the two reasons uh, as to why I wanted to start this YouTube channel. But what do you think? Do you think this kind of content, uh, will people be interested in this kind of content? Do you think it's enough for this channel to get monetized eventually? Because yeah, I can't do those other kind of passive income kind of business model, or it's not for me. So I'm hoping that this channel can get monetized, and maybe it can do some passive income thing. But yeah, have you thought of the kind of questions that I raised in this video? Have you thought of those kind of questions? And if you have not, and you are now thinking about it, uh, what are your thoughts on it? How do you plan to address these questions? You're gonna write a book, or you're gonna have like a journal, or make a movie about yourself, or I don't know. I'm curious as to whether do people even think of this kind of questions. Yeah. Anyway, so do you remember the questions that I asked earlier on in the video. Do you remember them? So now, after going through the whole video, what do you think? Why did I ask all those questions? Do you know why? Yeah. And so after this part, I'll be including a clip of my late father doing something that he was very passionate about and he enjoyed very much, and hope you enjoy it as well. Okay, friends, take care. Bye.
I dream of a world where all rivers run. Wherever we go, we always speak the same. But I wait to find it's the same. But I know that someday will change. I can vision so I can feel. And I know it's got to be real. Oh, troubles, sorrows, soon they'll be gone. When the world will be one, darkness, sorrows, soon